Very different than some of those early snowstorms, which really were branches, not full trees.
Today, we will tell you how the city of Spokane is still managing cleanup from last week's massive windstorm.
We're expecting some chilly temperatures for this weekend. I'm tracking some sunshine, but also a little bit of snow.
And the COVID-19 vaccine rollout in Idaho is at stake today as lawmakers pose a threat to the program in the legislature. Today, we'll share the desperate plea from Governor Brad Little. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on KREM 2 News. First at 4, I'm Joshua Robinson. Whitney and Tom have the night off. New at 4, all 8 regions in Washington will stay in Phase 1 of Governor Jay Inslee's Roadmap to Recovery reopening plan. Now, that restriction will stay in effect until at least Monday, February 1st. A new Roadmap to Recovery dashboard is also live now on coronavirus.wa.gov. Spokane is in the East region and today has met 2 of the governor's goals toward reopening. Today's data shows the trend in case rate is up 12%. The trend in hospital admissions rate is down 20%. The percent of ICU occupancy is 82%. And the percent of positivity in tests is 21%. Meanwhile, the deadly windstorm from January 13th has left 2 people dead as it devastated Spokane and left widespread damage across the inland Northwest. And the cleanup process is far from over. Our Morgan Trow joins us live with the latest on how that cleanup process is going and how much destruction the city has left to clean. Morgan?
Joshua, it's much easier to clean up tree branches than it is a full ponderosa pine, which is why the city is still calculating the amount of damage more than a week after the storm. The city finished their cleanup of trees and branches in public rights-of-way 4 days after the deadly storm. But the tons of tree debris on residential properties just keep adding up.
Just at waste energy alone, 350 tons or so of tree material.
Those 350 tons are just from residents bringing in their homes' tree debris, and it makes up only a portion of the tree damage in the city. Public Works' Marlene Feist says about 900 customers have disposed of their branches, but numbers are still coming in for the city's right-of-way debris, curbside residential pickup, and park disposal.
In the public right-of-way, we ended up with around 250 locations where we had to deal with trees or tree debris. 100 dump truckloads of tree debris being moved out of city neighborhoods on a daily basis for a couple days.
Since the process is ongoing, there is no definite numbers to how much more destruction needs to be taken care of. She assumes it's going to be in the triple digits of tons, maybe even quadruple of tons. In comparison to the 2015 storm, Feist says the city was much more prepared as it wasn't as severe, but it did have its own challenges that may have cost the city more money.
Because in the pandemic, we did have more limitations on how we could, provide assistance. We did bring extra crews on, so it wasn't just the street department.
They brought in more people and held numerous free drop-offs and pickups that normally would cost money. Feist says since they are working with parks, they cannot calculate the total cost until the division has fully cleaned up their areas. She estimates we will know the total in early February. You are still able to freely dispose of your tree debris at the waste management facility until the end of the month. Reporting at Comstock Park, Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
Thank you very much, Morgan. Now on to weather. We know some snow might be in the forecast as we head into the weekend, as we welcome in meteorologist Michelle Boss to tell us what the overnight is going to look like. Michelle?
Well, it's going to be pretty chilly. We saw the coldest temperatures of the year this morning with lows in the lower 20s. Of course, the first half of the month, we were really just too warm to see a lot of snow, but now with the cooler temperatures, we're kind of opening the door to see some of that wintry precipitation. Things are pretty quiet out there right now. In fact, across most of eastern Washington and North Idaho, we've got some clear skies out there, some clouds, low clouds lingering from the Palouse down through Lewiston. Those will try to clear up later tonight and tomorrow, so they should get into some sunshine as well. But we are going to see some chilly temperatures tonight. Currently, just above freezing in Spokane, 34 degrees, right at the freezing mark in Coeur d'Alene. A little bit warmer out west, Moses Lake in the upper 30s to around 40, Othello in the lower 40s, but pretty cool down in Pullman with those low clouds. Hard to warm up there, 31 degrees, 37 in Lewiston. Here's a look at the next 12 hours. Should be a quiet and chilly evening with temperatures quickly dropping down into the 20s. We will likely get down into the teens overnight and into Saturday morning. So taking a look at the next 3 days, we've got sunshine for the first half of the weekend, but starting off at 17 degrees and not making it above freezing. Looks like some snow should move in late Sunday afternoon. This is going to be a light snow event, so only 1 or maybe 2 inches in the Spokane area. High temperatures right around freezing on Sunday. Some lingering snow early Monday morning, and another cold day with a high of 33.
We'll see Michelle in a few minutes for her full forecast. A developing story today, an investigation is underway after a massive industrial fire destroyed the Washington Potato Company in the small town of Warden. Our Dana Marie McNichol has more on what happened in Warden.
Well, there's only a couple of fire crews left on scene here, but when we arrived at 6 a.m., it was much different. I saw with my own eyes massive flames coming from that potato factory, as well as a large 75-foot ladder with a heavy stream of water coming over the top to make sure to put out that fire. Now, crews were working all night long. The original report came in around 5:30. The dehydration area of the factory started on fire. Then a little bit later, they had worries that the ammonia tank in that factory could explode. That's when they gave evacuations to many homes in the area. The Grant County Sheriff's Department did say they went around and had resources making sure people got out safely. I did speak with a woman this morning who had to grab her kids and head out really quickly.
I packed up the kids. They were both in bed, put them in the truck, loaded up the dog, went and banged on the neighbors' doors. Took about 5 minutes, and then we went to Othello and ate Burger King in the parking lot, and the kids thought it was a picnic.
Warden has a population of only 2,800, and a devastation like this one really does impact the community. Megan also did mention that she knows many people who work here.
It was scary. We all live right here in town, and if the tank had gone up, it was worrying that everybody hadn't been able to get out of town, or if we could come back, when we could come back. So it was scary.
They're thankful for the first responders who fought this fire all night long. No one was injured or killed in this fire, which is one of the biggest takeaways this morning. The Grant County Sheriff's Office even called it a blessing. They said that crews are going to be on scene for the next couple of hours, making sure everything is cleared up and clean for the community. Reporting in Warden, I'm Dana Marie McNichol.
Thank you, Dana Marie. In Idaho, several bills are making their way through the state house, including one that would curb the executive branch's authority in times of emergency. Today, Governor Brad Little criticized the Idaho legislature, saying their efforts to limit his ability to make emergency declarations will put more Idahoans at risk during the pandemic. Little says Idaho stands to lose tens of millions of dollars in federal emergency money that could be used to assist in the fight against the virus.
It means the vaccine rollout is jeopardized, something that is unacceptable in this final stretch of our pandemic fight. It means cities and counties will have to find funds from you to pay for equipment and support they need to battle COVID-19 in your community. It means hospitals could lose access to critical supplies.
Now, these legislative efforts also come as the governor has authorized more Idaho National Guard soldiers to help with the state's response to increase vaccine distribution. Governor Little is asking Idahoans to contact their state legislators in order to stop the bills. Today, Idaho House Republicans issued a statement in response to the governor's comments. The statement reads in part, "Our members are working on various forms of legislation to help the state on its road to the recovery that Idahoans have been demanding for months, and we call on the governor to work with us in this process." Tonight, the Idaho Senate GOP is also responding to the governor's senator's statements. The statement in part says the Senate has not advanced any legislation that would jeopardize federal funding. We are working to address the genuine concerns of many Idahoans while at the same time maintaining federal dollars for a National Guard response, critical assistance to our rural hospitals, school districts, and other community COVID-19 response needs. In Washington now, Governor Jay Inslee and his wife Trudy have received their first dose of the COVID vaccine today. They got their vaccine at an assisted living facility in Olympia. The governor and his wife are eligible now under Phase 1B of the state's vaccine rollout. On Monday, the age threshold lowered from 70 to 65, and Inslee is 69. The governor said he could not be more thrilled after getting the vaccine. The Washington State Department of Health announced yesterday that all Washington nursing home residents who have opted in have now received their first dose. And the mass vaccination site at the Spokane Arena is expected to be up and running next Wednesday. Right now, organizers are waiting for the vaccine to arrive, and the opening date is dependent on when it arrives. Chaz Health leaders tell us they anticipate receiving the Pfizer vaccine, and once the site is open, it'll be an indoor operation by appointment only. As for how patients can schedule those appointments, that's still in the works. Spokane Regional Health District is also working on the operation along with the Washington National Guard. And of course, with that news, we also now know that Chaz Health will be leading those operations for the mass vaccination clinic at the Spokane Arena. But many of us are anxiously waiting for the day when the coronavirus vaccine is available, and we're wondering where we can get our shots in Washington and Idaho. So today, let's break down what we know right now. Washington State is currently in Phase 1B. That phase has been expanded to include people age 65 or older and people age 50 or older that live in multi-generational households to receive the vaccine. The second priority group, or Tier 2, is expected to gain access to the vaccine next month, and that Tier 2 includes high-risk critical workers, age 50 or older, and then Tier 3 includes people between the ages of 16 and 70 with 2 or more underlying health conditions, and they'll be eligible in March. Then Tier 4 includes high-risk critical workers who are under age 50, as well as staff and volunteers of all ages that work in living facilities, and that is expected to open up sometime in April. After that, the following phases 2 through 4, are expected to extend from May through December. Across state line, here's when you are available to get the vaccine in Idaho. Right now, Group 1 includes healthcare workers and employees at living facilities who are eligible now to receive the vaccine. The next phase will shift to teachers, grocery workers, and first responders, and that group is expected to receive the vaccine through January 31st, followed by people 65 and older who will receive their shots sometime between February 1st and the 15th. And then Group 3 will include people between the ages of 16 and 64 with medical conditions who will be eligible to get their shots in April. And the last group will be the general public, expected to open up in May. And if you'd like a list of all the COVID-19 vaccine locations where you can sign up online, all you have to do is text the word vaccine to 509-448-2000. We will get you the latest information. We're also tracking breaking news tonight. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is announcing that former President Donald Trump's impeachment trial won't start until the week of February 8th. That's after reaching an agreement with Republicans on the issue. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says this will give Trump's legal team time to prepare. Trump is the first president in history to be impeached twice.